be working together as a cohesive unit, right? Four guys.
That's to Moore, and he's got it. Touchdown, Bears. And the Bears will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon.
What's up, my Bears fans? Let's talk about the Bears in 2025. We are rebuilding them throughout next season. We are already playing out. We're 4 games in. So if you want to catch up to this point, I'm going to put a playlist of the first 4 games. You can catch up. Stop this video. Go ahead, watch those 4 games. See where we're at. I'm going to try to get you a win here in week 5. We're in a new offense. Ben Johnson came from the Lions, brought the Lions playbook with him. We had to put it on the shelf. It's kind of banned in this league, throwing too much, not running the ball enough. A lot of playbooks have gotten banned, including the 49ers, who are also throwing too much. Hardly ever ran the ball. They're in a new offense. The 49ers are in Chicago's offense right now, oddly enough, so they can run the ball more. They had a good week 4. Now it's the Bears' turn to get a new playbook, and they have one of the best playbooks given to them, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers playbook. A playbook that runs the ball but still has effective passing, especially in key moments in games. Very clutch playbook. Has Will Johnson playing like a freaking Superman right now. So we'll take a look at the Bears. They're almost dead last in points, too high in passing, too low in rushing. Really, one of the best ways to take care of the ball in Madden 25, slow sim, is not throwing interceptions. And if you're in a playbook that throws too much, you are really taking a risk here. We can take a look at the schedule real quick before we jump into this week 5 game. They took a loss, a close one, to the Cowboys in week 1, lost to the rival Minnesota Vikings. Absolutely had a phenomenal comeback victory on Thursday Night Football against the Bengals. Colston Loveland, 4 touchdowns, 3 or 4 touchdowns, I believe, in that game. That's another thing. Colston Loveland was in the slot. Ben Johnson trying to get that 2 tight end offense going, but that's another change we have going into week number 5. We have moved Colston Loveland into the tight end 1 spot and out of the slot. So that hopefully will fix some things maybe. I mean, Caleb Williams compared to other quarterbacks isn't playing too bad. 6 touchdowns and 4 interceptions is pretty good, but he needs to get the ball down the field better. One of the real big problems is DeAndre Swift is not running very effectively. So we got to fix that. But we really want to see this man here, Luther Burton, moving up. Now that Loveland has got moved out of the slot, Loveland moved up into the slot. So we'll see what that does to this offense. Gives us a lot more speed and moves Cole Kmet down to that tight end 2 spot and out of really the lineup. So it was 3 touchdowns that Loveland scored all on Thursday Night Football against the Bengals, which was a great comeback. So this should be a real fun one. Try to get you a win here. If you're into watching the Bears play out their next season, I got you covered right here. Like and subscribe. Follow along. And it's not just the Bears that we're rebuilding. We're building every team. We're slow simming every game of the 2025 season so we can tell you who's going to be good, who's going to be bad, who's going to be the MVP, who's going to win the Super Bowl. So thank you for watching. Enjoy.
Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. And they will be led out by their second-year quarterback.
And the numbers were not pretty. I mean, they don't look right. When you throw 2 interceptions, no touchdown passes, there's no way to really make that work. But I thought there were a lot of positives in watching his game tape. I think he's close to putting out a good performance. Let's see if he can flip those numbers around in this game. And, of course, rally his team to a win.
And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. Once again, it's Swift. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down. They'll try and run here with Swift. And he will have a first down here at about the 40. A third down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough. The Bears at 1-3 here in the early part of the year. Now, they were losers last time out, trying to turn things around here in this one.
And it always helps to have a home crowd behind you, giving you encouragement as long as you give them something good to cheer about. So you know they just want to come out and play well for their faithful, and I expect them to do just that.
Second down and 4. To the air, Williams. And he will find the open man. It's DJ Moore. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. Swift going to try up the middle. Oh, that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line. 14 yards and a Chicago first down. To throw, it's Williams. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, first and goal. Off the bootleg, it's Williams. And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit, right? 4 guys.
That's to Moore. He's got it. Touchdown, Bears. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Bears will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. A long opening drive, but a very successful opening drive. We call that methodical, I guess, when it takes that many plays.
Methodical and almost like a boxing match where you're hitting them with body blows. They can withstand them here. Look, they gave up the touchdown, but you don't feel like a knockout is there. But they keep doing that in the fourth quarter. That's when the knockout occurs.
And it becomes tough for that defense if they're on the field that long. We'll see if they can continue that in future drives. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And a look here now at their 4th-year quarterback.
His game last week reminded me of the old song, Accentuate the Positive, because that's about all he did, right?
Yeah.
3 touchdown passes, over 300 yards in the air, receivers happy.
And they got the win.
Got the win. If you're a running back that likes to catch passes, they're happy as well. Big-time game.
Got a man, that's Ayuk. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. Purdy looking to throw. And he'll dump this off to his running back, McCaffrey. And that's good for a gain of 6, and it'll be second down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
That one, a first down pickup of 8.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Tremaine Edmonds there to bring him down. Here now, 2nd and 9 from the 39-yard line. Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a third and about 4.
In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. Back to throw, Purdy.
And this is going to be incomplete.
I don't think either one of us is surprised about who they just targeted on that one. I mean, they're going to try and get to him as much as possible. Off to a nice start, but unable to haul that one in.
Yeah, already looked his way a couple of times on this opening drive. Can't connect there. And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
Chicago works their way back onto the field here for their second drive of the game. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. 2 yards on the pickup there. 3rd and 7 now.
So 7 yards from the first down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Williams from the gun on 3rd down.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down.
Not too many teams will use a first-round pick on a tight end, so you know that when one does, he's got to be pretty darn special.
A small example of why they took him in the first round there. Nice little catch and run to get the good yardage.
Here we go.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping.
So they take the flag and the yardage that comes with it.
Still first down.
So a 1st and 5 now after the 5-yard penalty from the neutral zone infraction.
To throw, Williams. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. Looking to throw is Williams. And that's out to the flat for Swift.
And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds.
A yard all they need, but it's 3rd down. They'll go play action here with Williams. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. He had 3 catches last week. That one his 3rd on this drive alone.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift.
5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
They'll break the huddle and come up on the 9th play of this drive, needing 5 yards on 3rd down.
He's got room at the 30.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive and comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. Back in Chicago, ready for the second quarter. It's the Bears in possession. From the 25, here's second down at 7. As they've got it as we resume action. Throwing is Williams. And he's going to be taken down here. A sack back at the 32. It'll go in the books as a 7-yard loss on the sack. And it's third down. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll try and set up the screen to Swift. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. That's going to bring up 4th down. Only a gain of 2 there. Santos' kick is up and through, and they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3. So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the two teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. Just a lone field goal for them so far, trailing 10-3 as they come up 1st and 10. They start on the ground with McCaffrey. And he'll scratch out a yard up to the 30, and that's all.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Out of the gun, Purdy connects with Kittle underneath. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. Kittle's got his first catch, and it's also a first down. Now Purdy. He'll get this out wide here to McCaffrey. So the completion gets him just a yard, and that'll make it 2nd down. Purdy from the gun. Buying time to his left. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You're talking about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
They do get 7 out of that, but not enough to prevent a 4th down. Here's Mitch Wishnowski now. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Well, let's shine the spotlight on the former Georgia Bulldog, DeAndre Swift, who's set to begin this next drive. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
Well, now he's looking just to add to his totals. 54 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
I'm not sure how much more evidence they need, partner, than to understand that if they don't start to slow him down, it's going to be a long afternoon here at the stadium because he is just shredding them at this point. And let's face it, coming into the game, they knew he would be the focal point of their attack. This is going to take an 11-man unit on the defensive side to start making plays.
And he'll get this up to about the 40. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4. They'll stay on the ground with Swift. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. First down for the Bears, a gain of 15. Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
Kalia Davis made the tackle. Here's 2nd and 10. They will run straight ahead with Swift.
4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
But really, that was no surprise there. They've been running it well all game, and I know goals change all the time, but any team will take that type of run each and every time.
Here's Williams.
So no sack. He gets back to the line of scrimmage, but it'll still bring up a 4th down.
Like it's been as negatively as he just got back to the line of scrimmage, but when you really analyze it, he took away a big play for the defense, made it an uneventful run because he avoided a sack and didn't lose yardage.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. And this will remain a 1-touchdown game.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
2 sides to every coin. This is the bad side of missing the 58-yarder. Now they start at the 48. The drive begins with a run by McCaffrey. And he stopped immediately there. Grady Jarrett with the tackle.
Now a 2nd and 10.
McCaffrey running up the middle. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory.
2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Shotgun now with Purdy.
And that will be incomplete.
Jalen Johnson that time able to knock it away.
As a corner, you have to be able to run with guys step for step downfield or man coverage and make up ground quickly in zone. You have to put yourself in position to make plays, just like that one we saw there.
And that ball's going to angle out at the 3-yard line. A beauty.
The Bears offense and running back DeAndre Swift headed back onto the field. He's been a tough man to stop in this first half. He's putting up some big numbers already, and we have yet to reach halftime.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Running the ball can be a struggle in this part of the field. In fact, it's a perfect spot for defenders to pin their ears back and try and work upfield, and they capture him for a loss.
Now Williams to throw from his end zone. And he is not going to get away. The rush was too strong, and this is going to wind up a safety.
At this point, I think it's a surprise when he isn't close to being sacked on a passing down. The amount of times he's hit the deck today, I think a lot of us are reading safety before they even took the snap. Simply a merciless pass rush every step of the game, and that rush earns a crowning achievement there.
Now the free kick comes after the safety from the 20 as they bring the punter on to try and get some hang time here. This is taken at about the 14. And the ball is knocked out.
And it looks like the defense has got it.
And his guys are going to take over at the 31-yard line. On 1st down, he'll drop to throw.
That's complete. Roma Dunze.
This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
2nd and a couple. From the gun, here's Williams. He's going to get that to Swift underneath.
And he'll get it down this time to the 17.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down.
Back to throw. Williams firing quickly here, and that's complete.
And we're going to stop play here at least momentarily. It looks like there is a 49er who's in some discomfort. Hopefully, obviously nothing serious here. Medical staff, though, going to take a peek, and we'll take a break. Now a 2nd and 6.
Back to throw again. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago.
Cole Kmet His second touchdown on the season. And the Bears will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Well, we know someone just added to his touchdown passing total, but all he did was get the ball out quickly to his tight end and let him take care of business the rest of the way.
Now the point after try for Santos. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. A drive there of just 4 plays. And it was all capped off by Cole Kmet with a touchdown catch. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Well, the Niners going back on offense now late in this first half. Well, not much time remains here in this first half. We'll see if they can get something out of this drive, at least a field goal. They could certainly use it down by 2 scores. Now San Francisco going to call their second timeout as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. He's going to float this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Trying to get something positive to happen here before the break, and they sure need it. They went for the big one, but it winds up incomplete.
Purdy now to throw. Pass caught by Pearsall. And now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Purdy. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is incomplete. Oh, it looked like he had a pretty good line on that one. That would have been a big play, but he could not pull it in. So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowsky to punt this one away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And this will be out of bounds. Now it's a question of where they'll mark it. And they'll say it crosses at the 11-yard line. And now whistles and a flag. And I think we got a jump here. So they'll accept that penalty, and that'll, of course, move the football up the field.
Still first down.
A boost here to start the drive. After the penalty, it's 1st and 5. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. So we come upon halftime in what's a 12-point game at the break. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
In the first half, it was the man from USC, Caleb Williams, who put on a solid performance. He fired his guys into the lead with 2 first-half touchdown passes as they were looking like a well-oiled machine in the first half of play. This has certainly been a fun one to watch so far. We knew this was going to be a battle, but we have not been disappointed. This is the kind of game that could wind up hinging on which side could play mistake-free football the rest of the way.
And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And hold on here, because on that last run, it looks like we have a player who was shaken up. So as the medical staff takes a look, we'll step aside. The San Francisco offense ready to start their next drive. And right out of the gate, they face what you'd think could be a pretty important drive.
I would say so. You know, they're down 2 scores. That's not the end of the world. It wasn't the strongest of first halves, but for them to start clawing back, they've got to start putting a little pressure on that defense, start cutting into this deficit. You can't have 3 and outs and expect to get that done.
Another run with McCaffrey on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down. Throwing here, Purdy. That's over the middle and caught by Ayuk. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Ball on the 47-yard line. Here's 2nd down and a yard. Up the gut, McCaffrey. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Purdy now to throw off the play action. They'll find Farrell open left side.
And he's going to be taken down right at the line. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that will bring up second down. They'll give it up to McCaffrey. And he's going to be stopped up at about the 47-yard line. He'll get only 3 there, so it leaves him with a 3rd and 7 ahead.
Here's Purdy. And that is incomplete. Jalen Johnson that time able to knock it away.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
And this one will not be returnable as it sails out of bounds. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half.
They'll start on the ground with Swift.
Brought down around the 16 or 17, showing some tough running there. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
To throw, it's Williams.
In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss. This defense coming out after the half, and if that plays any indicator, Charles, maybe a little refreshed and refocused here for quarters 3 and 4.
Yeah, they did really well on that one. That's exactly what they need to keep doing if they want to change their fortunes in this game.
So a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. To the air, Williams.
Under pressure, and they got to him again.
Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Niners will go on offense. 1st and 10. So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 49. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. They stay on the ground. McCaffrey again. And he'll be brought down, it looks like, right at the 40. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks. This is McCaffrey on the give. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense.
They're backed up here with a 1st and 20 now after the holding penalty.
They run with McCaffrey off the option.
The 20. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory.
83 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
He had been held in check. Now he breaks that big run. Shows the explosiveness we all knew was there.
All right, tell the truth now. You knew it was just a matter of time, didn't you?
Time.
We've seen this so many times from him. Hold him down, and then breaks out.
Back to throw, Purdy.
And it's complete. In the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers.
Luke Farrell.
A 5-yard touchdown.
And the 49ers have cut it back within a score.
That, of course, all set up by the big run on the play prior. They took advantage right away with the touchdown throw.
And you mentioned advantage, probably taking advantage of their natural instinct after that previous play to be aggressive and rush towards the line of scrimmage. And instead, they were vulnerable to the pass.
Moody good with the extra point.
And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful.
Here is Wisnowski to boot it away following the touchdown. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. Still enjoying the lead here in the third quarter despite their defense giving up that last touchdown. Now they'll see if they can get the equalizer here on this drive. Working out of the gun, Williams. To the left side into the hands of Odunze. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Man, I just love being in this stadium. So much history, tradition, so many great teams and games, and we're seeing a pretty good one right now, hotly contested in the third quarter. On the handoff, this is Swift.
And this defense not giving him anything there, maybe a yard up to the 36.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and 9. To throw, Williams.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down.
Now a give, right side, Swift.
And he's got this one across midfield into 49er territory. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
Here's a handoff to Swift.
And he's going to get this one down to the 45.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Williams from the gun on 3rd down.
It's a short one here, complete to his tight end.
And he will have the Bears first down as they're able to convert, albeit not by much, on 3rd and a yard.
Final minute now of the third quarter.
Now they'll fake it there on the jet sweep, and instead, here's Swift.
That's some good hard running there as he'll push his way forward for about 5.
Now 2nd and 5. Looking to throw is Williams. A pass complete to Odunze.
And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4. It'll go as a gain of 4. And 3rd and 1 now. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Soldier Field. It's Bears football here. They also have the lead as well as we begin quarter number 4.
Throwing is Williams.
And this is caught. He hits more. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 16. Defense was thinking run, and they're dealt a pass of just under 20 yards.
And that certainly appears to be a critical conversion right there because not only do they keep the drive going, they take valuable time off the clock as well. They have to feel really good about that last completion.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
Looking to throw. Williams. And he will find his man on the outside. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
They run out of the gun with Swift.
And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. Call it a gain of 3, but not enough to move the sticks. It'll be 3rd and about a foot or 2. Operating from the gun, Williams.
That's to Moore, and he's got it. Touchdown, Bears.
A great play there. With 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game.
And the Bears look like they're going to get back in the win column as they extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. Well, that's certainly going to bump up the old win probability index because now it's a 2-score game here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you're taking me into that deep water now. Win probability index. This game's definitely not over. We're not looking at a 0.5% or something. It's just 2 scores. But the way that this team has played, To me, what I've seen, they absolutely deserve to win this game. They've been the better team by far throughout.
Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The 49ers offense now, they get set to head back on the field.
And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Purdy will set up to throw it here.
Connects with Kittle underneath. Give him a gain of 5 on the completion. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
Purdy looking to throw.
They'll set up the screen to McCaffrey. And he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
Fielded just inside the 20. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, but a net of 32. They had a 10-yard return, and the Bears take over.
The Bears offense and their running back getting ready to go back to work. And he has put in a full game's work and then some. Just an incredible performance on the ground to this point in the fourth quarter.
It's a short one here, complete to the tight end.
And he'll be tackled right on the chalk of the 45.
That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a 1st down.
But when you're up by 2 scores in the fourth quarter and you're going to throw the football, expect to see a lot of man coverage, because usually what comes along with man coverage is pressure. So if you're a play caller and you want to keep throwing the football, that's fine. Just make sure your offensive line understands they're going to get additional guys running at the quarterback.
Swift going to try up the middle.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3.
I'm sure that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
8th catch for him now. He's been a big factor. And it's a 1st down. Operating from the gun, Williams. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up 2nd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up 3rd down.
Throwing again here, Williams. Pass taken in by his big tight end.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward.
Partner, I like that they're staying aggressive on offense, because to me, this drive is what is known as a put-away drive. You score here, that might put this one to bed. I like the fact that they're playing with confidence and not playing with fear.
Here's a handoff to Swift running left.
And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown.
DeAndre Swift, his first rushing touchdown on the year. And the Bears have pretty well put it away here in the fourth quarter. Well, I've heard you use the term put-away drive, and that right there seemed like the definition of a put-away drive.
Yeah, it certainly just pops right up out of the book, doesn't it? Because up 2 scores already, just wanted to possess the football, keep converting and picking up 1st downs. And if the drive ends in 3 points, that's terrific. If it ends in a touchdown, fantastic.
Santos able to tack on the extra point, and that will make this a 19-point game. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away.
Well, now how about this return? And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line. 1st and 10 at the 34. They'll try and start this drive in the air. He's going to drop this down to McCaffrey. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Those short little routes probably going to be open. The defense, they'll let those happen, especially when they can make an inbounds tackle.
Yeah, where's Coach Madden when you need him? He always talked about taking what the defense gives you, but sometimes you have to know when you have to take more. That was one of those situations. At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Niners go for it, but it doesn't work out. And the Bears are going to get the football back, and they're going to get it in great field position. The home team's offense and Caleb Williams set to go to work once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. On 1st and 10, it's Swift. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. 2nd and right at a yard. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup, and that's all they needed to move the sticks.
Delay of game, offense.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit.
Still 1st down.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Slot man moves right. He's going to get it on the jet sweep. It's a 5-yard pickup, so essentially they get the penalty yardage back, and it's back to 2nd and 10. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So the Bears with the football here as we welcome you back. And no doubt what they're looking to do is just salt away the final couple of minutes and escape with a win. Now a carry for Swift. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
I like the call there because that was one to take time off the clock and get them closer to getting out of here with a W. In the mind of the play caller, all you want to hear is tick, tick, tick.
Here's Williams. He'll look middle here and get it to Odunze. And he will have the Bears 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
They will run straight ahead with Swift. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. And Charles, you think about this victory, pretty impressive. They came in facing one of the top defenses in the National Football League. Not only did they get the win, they played a clean football game, didn't have any turnovers against that great defense.
Yeah, it's a terrific observation because, you know, they emphasize ball security, wanted to avoid making any major mistakes playing against that tough defense, and they were turnover free and took points when they were available. Excellent execution, and they did it competently.
So for the Bears, they move a step closer to 500 as their record improves to 2-3. And they'll hit the road next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for the Niners, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they will try to get back in the swing of things next week on the road. That'll do it for us. I'm Brandon Gaudin alongside Charles Davis. Thanks to our entire crew as well. We'll talk to you next time. So long, everybody.